Hi, it's me again. Kathy Vick, deeply awake. It's me again. I'm going to channel. I feel that I want to, and I want to very much. And I just want to say about this dimensional stuff. I came to this realization that this is a multidimensional reality. Once I realized, it took a couple days to figure it out. I can't change anybody's mind. I mean, you've heard strains of that throughout this. But still, there was a part of me that just, come on, you gotta get this, It's so imperative. Well, it was imperative to me. And this is the law of reflectivity that I've come to love. When I am in my most emotional place, the most convicted, I have got conviction about this. I know the score. And I'm looking at someone else, and I'm commenting on their problem. Well, at that point, that is they've just become a very convenient mirror for me, because we're not in a place where I'm even connecting with them on their reality. I'm connecting with them on the reality that they're presenting me, that they need to show me. And that's not really good connection. I mean, it's nice. I appreciate being schooled. It tells me that it's a guru kind of connection. It's a karmic connection. And I know enough to know that these particular kinds of lesson type connections that are so rich with core truths and shifts in consciousness that are available as a result of these truths. Well, you know, if they're presenting to me and I'm in argument with their presentation, and I'm tickled and I think they need to change, it's no longer about them. It's about me. And that is when the connection falters, really the true connections, and it becomes, you know, more of a karmic dance, more of a soul healing dance. Now, people do that for me all the time, and I'm certain I do that for others all the time. So that's how I use reflectivity. I've said it one other time. Okay, if everyone around me is arguing, what inside of me is arguing with me? If I feel like everyone is sort of turning their back and neglecting this, you know, bleeding wound of mine, where am I not attending to myself, and where is the source of the bleed? And maybe I should staunch the flow a bit. So that's very helpful, I found. But I really have seen about the last couple weeks, but especially the last week, it heightened. I saw myself as this little person with a bent up sword, like hollering at this dragon that was about to have me for a nice little nom-nom. And I thought, what other purpose is there for a dragon? It's dripping saliva and breathing on me as I look up into its mouth. Well, the thing is that that whole construct is one that I'm conjuring. And I've realized lately that it's when I feel a survival thrill about proving this point, or I don't know, doing that task with or without my will, then I'm really not in my power. And in that kind of scenario, well, God, who wouldn't be freaked out? it takes looking bigger, somehow voiding the sticky heat it's rolling down my face, and the sweet stink of that breath, and the impending doom. That's the trigger. There's no such thing as that around here. The dragon's given that off. It's a glamour. It's an illusion. So very few times are there really emergencies around here. And when there are, guess who knows how to respond? That's kind of what I figured out. So it's really, I don't know. Seeing myself as the dragon and the little person with the bent sword, and the one conjuring it to frighten the imaginer. And it ain't working no mo. Isn't that pretty? So I know that when there's a sense of, oh God, not again, or defeat, that normally has to do with we can't afford that. I feel such a tug of despair when I can't afford things that I want and need, because I want them and because they're appropriate to the situation. That's such a hard thing. And I've had that lesson handed to me I don't know how many times. It's not time for your reward yet, Kathy. Be happy with what you've got. Well, I don't want what I got. I want what I want. So yeah, part of it's getting happy with looking at my thumb and being completely content. Part of it has to be with knowing that I'm creating whatever is in front of me, and if I have distress, well then I'm creating some distress then, aren't I? I should probably look at that. And sometimes something is so distressful, it's simply there to give you sort of a pass or play experience. When everything sort of builds up into one fine moment when you realize, yeah, this can't go forward, or yeah, I can't say no to this anymore. I'm done resisting, basically. Anyway, it just makes me feel so good to know that there's all kinds of dimensional realities represented here. That it is therefore fine if I want to vibrate at a very high frequency and act in a way that my neighbor might not understand. I think it's well past worrying if I'm going to be liked, don't you? I do. It doesn't matter anymore. So there you go with that. That's nice. That's what I realized when I socialized yesterday. And it's been coming about, I said, the last couple of weeks or so. With about the last week, even heavier. I have friends like me, and I can just pop in, and they can pop in, and by virtue of what they've listened to and how they respond, something that was worrying me is relieved, or something that I didn't understand is revealed, or something I was missing was given to me. That's really neat. There's no takeaway there, is there? And that's a family situation. That's a good thing. But last night when I was socializing, I didn't feel like anybody was taking anything away from me. I realized sitting at that fire, this is how I've always been. I've been the girl that is doing her own thing. And once in a while someone breaks in and says, "Hi. Can I drink a beer with you?" Because I like it that way. And that's what I pray for. I always pray for those who can pierce through whatever it is that I emit that some people find impossible to pierce. And I have more and more of that in my life, and I'm very, very grateful, because it makes me feel better to be here with people who don't put me down for being who I am. It's lovely. And it makes looking back or looking forward and anticipating more of that sort of kind of ewy and not necessary. It's really time to release, and it has been done. The not fitting, and it comes from this dimensional awareness. I'm not supposed to fit with some people. They're supposed to argue with me. They're supposed to be upset by me. And I'm just the same. But there I have different reactions. And that doesn't have to do with me being argumentative or arguing with myself or needing to apply the reflectivity. And that's what's really important to say, is that had to do with them and where I was vibrating and what I was attracted to. What I was here, I thought, to heal and eradicate or ameliorate or soothe. And I focused on that. And I purposely found people who were tough. And it's not because I went out there looking. They came and found me. But now it's a little bit different, because I don't have to spend my time arguing with a brick wall. I'm done. The brick wall animates and then pees on me every now and then, and I'm done with that. No more steel vaulted people. No more brick walls. No more walls of spitting at me because I'm upsetting somebody. Alright, if I upset you that much, we probably shouldn't hang then. So it's really fun to begin to feel different around the same stimuli, and to realize that I really had set it up to be kind of super hard, and it doesn't have to be hard anymore. And I don't have to make it hard for myself anymore, because I'm comfortable with things being new and different. Wow. I'm heated up. I want to channel before I go. I need to go do some things. And then my night begins, and I'm already thinking I'd rather be in bed. But I only have to go for 2 hours, and I get to dress up. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna flirt my fucking ass off and have a great time. And feel juicy and alive and like a ticket. I'm a golden ticket, man. And I'm being clutched by a most beautiful hand. And it's my hand. And it's so nice to walk around full and satisfied and complete. Without the sheer magic that it is being in love. Maybe this is what I was feeling so strong coming through by the solstice. Okay. Well. Okay. Yes, and the body adjusts and the muscles go whee. As the release comes and the relaxation floods the body, isn't that nice? We wish to give you a lovely, beautiful gift, and the one before you has no knowledge of this. We have not given visions or anything. And so we adjust. cane went down, boom. That's okay. We are moved to be in the presence of the Alice Bailey prayer, known as the Great Invocation. This was indeed prayed by the one before you on December 12 of 1994 at sunrise, before the activities of the day began. They were the first words spoken in that circle that morning. They remain steadfast and beautiful words today. The invocation talks of a plan, you know, a plan which the masters know and serve. A plan. The beautiful part about this plan is that everyone has agreed to it. And being tangled within the veil of confusion and forgetfulness, well, it's easy to forget what you made agreements to long ago, and that your soul will have no other way. Because certainly here the vehicle has sway. Who makes the vehicle? The soul. The soul. The vehicle is an expression of the soul. You know this. Oh, well, I have a bum leg. My leg, it's where it's attached to my trunk. There seems to be a disconnect, and it hurts like sin. And I know my soul ain't broken. Why is my body broken? Puzzle me this, she say. What do you ask about? What kind of pressure are you under physically? How ashamed are you? How much do you question what this illness is trying to tell you? How many nights do you spend feeling bad because to be ill must mean you have misinterpreted something and you have hurt yourself as a result? None of those things are true, you know. If you or a loved one are experiencing physical concerns, please remember what we've said about physical illness, yes, especially during these times. Physical illness comes upon the habitus at times to move the story along when no other way is appreciated or available. It's when there is energy that cannot be languaged quite yet, and it cannot be understood quite yet. It can be a karmic tool. It is always a spiritual tool. But it doesn't necessarily have to be karmic. If your body is working really good and you are well nourished and well hydrated and your body, it is an afterthought. Well, that's the idea, is it not? But it is not an afterthought. It is your friend. And it has mysteries within it that all friends carry. Gifts only a friend can deliver to you. How wise is it to be in argument with your expression? How wise is it? This does not mean reveling in the secondary gain, quite available to those who wish to take a path of illness. But we have to say, is to remind you, you are a soul expression, and your physical vehicle is an expression of your soul and your understanding, and it is beautiful. The mechanisms of illness, disease, and death, well, you know, there is great work to be done and study and literature to be written. Yes. Yes. In this new energy. Can it be said that all walks are blessed? Yes, it can. It always comes up. Well then, what about the person who goes through life like a sledgehammer? The one who can't help but hurt the ones they love. What about them? Don't they have to fix themselves? No. There's nothing to fix. The one before you had a great idea about the Soul Ages video, and we wish to pass it on. We think it's very instructive and helpful. But we urge you to look at it not in terms of age of soul, as that is a misnomer, and to see it instead as DNA activation. It will be a video that is tacked on to the video offering and the page. For looking at that video about soul ages is helpful and quite triggering. But we don't want you thinking about it in terms of age. This brings up the prison of caste system. Oh, I'm born this way and I must remain this way. In the next lifetime it will be better. No, it's not about ages and dying and coming back and growing and all that stuff. It has to do with DNA activation. And so many problems that seem so inescapable and unsolvable are seen in time as child's play. And things that appear to be miraculous, well, that's just another day. DNA activation. DNA activation. Can you have DNA activation and physical illness at the same time? Well, we would ask you to look at this one. And ask yourself again. Can you? The gift we give involves a beautiful jar with a golden cap, like a mason jar, but it's so beautifully clear it nearly glows. Perhaps it is what is within it that makes it glow, you begin to wonder. And so the top comes off and you look in and it's empty. You examine it, it's still glowing, still beautiful, mesmerizing. It inflames curiosity. What could be the function of this little jar with the little lid? Am I to drink out of it? Am I to place coins in it? Am I to prepare a jelly or a jam and seal this lid and store it for winter? What am I to do with this? It's so beautiful. Perhaps I'll make it a vase or an incense holder, a candle holder. A curious and creative light made out of twinkle lights. What should I do with this beautiful jar? Look up from the jar and take a look at your surroundings. Yes? May we suggest you are sitting on a bench and your little toes are just inches away from a lovely fire. It smells good in here. It smells woody. It smells of your favorite food cooking. It smells of cinnamon and apples and snow. You're in a little cabin. Little windows looking out on a snowy night. Can that be? You may leave the bench, go look. Sure enough, a full moon. Snow falling, so much on the ground. Everything but the pine trees taking on a white-blue glow. Peace, silence, stillness, repose. You look around and see there's a beautiful, soft, warm, red plaid blanket and a lovely hooded garment hanging close to the window. Take it off the hook and put it on. Take that blanket you see and go sit down at the bench again. We have a gift for you. On this particular still night. There is a sense of anticipation that is answered beautifully by a sense of completion. And so there is peace within and without. You had placed the jar on the mantel above the fire before going over to the window. Upon sitting on the little bench, you look up, realizing, oh, I need to get that jar. It's already in your hands, and it has a fire in it now. It's not just glowing, it's flickering. The glass is cool in your hands, yet there is a fire in there. Open the lid. You must. This is very unusual. Yes. Peering in. The flames touch your face, and you are soothed. Any remaining questions, concerns, conflicts. They are cooled. They are burned off. They are turned into little butterflies as the flame licks your face. It no longer seems appropriate to have this contained in a little glass. It's so beautiful. It seems to want to come out to play. And so your other hand goes up to the wide mouth. And the jar is turned. The contents to tumble out into your palm, and yet there are no contents. Your palm now feels the same breath of fire, of coolness, of release. What a curious jar. What a curious night. It's time to go to bed. Lying underneath warm blankets, on soft sheets, with fragrant pillows. The jar is now on your bedside stand as your light turns off. The light, once brilliant white, shimmers into gold and prismatic, dancing, leaping. Jewels. The white light now oozes from its jar, a golden fluid filled with the colors of the spectrum. And, impossibly, it fills up the square that is your room. It fills the air. It fills your mouth and nose. It fills your lungs. It fills your heart. The blood instantly begins to course with light it has never imagined before could possibly glide through it on this planet. The blood cells themselves, the vessel walls, the organs it touches, the entire body, cell by cell, capillary bed by capillary bed, begins to resemble the glittery, magical air you're breathing. And you can see suddenly your body lying on that bed. And as the jar releases its contents fully into the room, you see the body shimmer and become that beautiful golden light. Look over to the bedside stand. There is no jar. Look down. There is no bedside stand. There is light. And simply by breathing, this reality continues until morning. In the morning, the bedside stand is bare. The light is weak and white, tinted. You breathe it in and it's crisp. It feels new. And the day begins. Perhaps you visited that little cabin in real life. Perhaps you just visited in meditation, or when you just came along with us. Doesn't matter. It's real. It is possible to merge to the point where the body habitus is simply part of the soup that you are breathing in and out. It is possible to let that gold, liquid, color-flecked beauty course out of your mouth through your throat, touching all with grace. Yes, it is mindful, because this light prefers gentleness. This light prefers honesty. This light prefers mirth. And so the one knowing of the light in time is relieved, amazed, and honored to become the light. A process, yes. There's always time, older than time, as it is reckoned here. Not unusual at all. Simply the way of things as days, weeks, months, and years progress. We offer you this today in gentleness, in meekness, in strength, and in power. We are pleased for you to see what is available. Once shame, blame, guilt, and appeasing loosen the grip on a psyche, on a people, on a humanity. And we are pleased to showcase for you the thoughts and the actions and the trials of one human striving to remember that being one human being this human. Is a spiritual gift to self and to other. We wish you much peace along your way. We wish you clarity. We hope that you are allowing arguments to play if they must, while not attending to them emotionally quite so much, seeing the need as the reason for perhaps not withdrawal, but it is important to know how to use one's energy. At a certain point, you are amplifiers. And you get 2 or 3 amplifiers in the same room. Well, you better all be amplifying something pretty, yeah? It's funny, as the amplification goes up, so does the pretty. And the urgency decreases. Things like curiosity, love of beauty, floods of relief, floods of joy, floods of, powerful, great love. Those are part of your legacy, you know. So the guilt and the doubt and the shame and all that, is that part of your legacy? Oh, sure. The legacy of separation and of believing simple lies. Because that's what your consciousness could handle. And now that you realize, yeah, I sure can handle more. Because when it comes into my reality, I respond. I'm not reacting quite so much. I'm not fearing quite so much. It's just different. Bravo if this happens one time in every year. Bravo if it happens one time a month. And bravo if you can make this your daily mood state. There is much worry, anxiety, and fear of death about, fear of pain. There is much going on in the collective, and this is one of the reasons why you are seeing what you are seeing. With the solar flaring and other matters, this is a very, very long one indeed. It becomes more necessary for the split to occur, and this is not due to survival or comfort even. It's simply what is happening is that if everyone got a bump, well, isn't that nice? But it does mean that if everyone got a bump, that there is there are still people who didn't respond even to that bump. And it doesn't make the lower agreement fields any stronger. It makes them more splintered. And conversely, the bump makes the ones who are a bit more able to manage that much more unified. Isn't that funny? So the divisiveness and the tearing apart energy, well, that is being projected onto a growing unified field. Is it working? Not as good as it used to. This is a multidimensional reality, to be sure, plugged in were the ones who vibrated very, very, very high and unimpeded. And then those that vibrated very, very, very high with high impedance. Either way, these high vibrations are even higher now. Everyone's come up a notch. And the ones who remain at the lowest, well, it's just a little bit more painful for the ones vibrating real fast. There has been a change in amperage is what we are saying, and because of the changes, these changes are also changes in expression. Much more visibly now than before. So what we are saying, we're trying to be clear, we believe we might be failing, is that if you have people now vibrating in the 9th harmonic and higher, but let's just do the 9th, in physical form, vibrating at the 9th harmonic. It wasn't even thought possible 20 years ago. And you have a band functioning at the 7th harmonic, changes things. It adds contrast to the 5th, 4th and 3rd, and makes them less of a band than distinct groupings of consciousness with distinct flavors, concepts, expectations and abilities. We hope you can see through this analogy what might be happening and why it might be that the one before you and perhaps you are feeling a little bit more comfortable just being themselves. So we think this is good work and we're very pleased with the door. It's so good. It's good to get it out. There have been many life lessons as well as energetic ones given the very last little bit, and the work has been astounding. We're very pleased to be able to condense it into this form. We have been present with the channeling all through it, and we want to impress upon you that channeling is not anything to be feeling shame or guilt about. It does not mean that you're functioning low. We would say we would like to bring you to that tube analogy, the 13th and beyond. This is how the 13th is always categorized, 13th and beyond. There is a door. We stand behind that door. And we gladly enter your reality when we hear a knock. But the truth is, looked at the right way, by more and more, you will find there is no door on which it is required you knock. The walls fall. Why would the doors and the locks remain in place? Look around you. There are no more limits. Look below you. You are standing on agreement fields which require limits. You get to choose where you vibrate. You know when you are with certain people you must vibrate low. Or take peace in solace and quiet and spin however you wish. But to introduce certain thoughts into a certain groups, well, that's not needed. Pay unto Caesar that which is Caesar's. We are pleased with this work, and we hope that it finds you well and happy and changing, and more than that, willing to change. We say it might be time. And if you are changing and happy about it, bravo. We are pleased with anyone who has made it to 5049. Hats off. We will post where the tape begins. We will review the tape prior to its publication, and if it meets approval, then we will go ahead and post it. We would prefer not to do such long ones, but it is the way it is. As a result of the length, yes, there is some neck issues now that were not there, but all of the pain in the left arm is gone. We got in the body. There's many ways of looking at this. But anyway, when our vibration was very, very strong, we came in, and the muscles in this arm went pop, 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 pop. And it's been feeling cool and happy ever since. So yes, praying, meditating, just checking in with something that might be larger than you, that might know something you don't. This can lead to a sense of physical peace. And perhaps it's only just relief from worry. Well, isn't that kind of nice? It's the least we can do. We stand by you. We hear every muttering. We hear every fear thought. We know of every anxiety. We know of every obstacle. We know what is required for the next part. And we are here. Our arms are laden with tools and jokes and happy accidents. It's not even, you don't even need to ask. We don't even say you have to ask. There's a certain vibration reached and boom, why would you have to ask for this? But at first, when in great disbelief and feeling completely alone, abandoned, separated from anything that is divine or sweet or miraculous, well, you gotta start slow. There's nothing wrong with that. You gotta convince yourself that you're not damned for all time. It may take a while. It depends on what your akash is. What you had to give away to hold spiritual power lifetime after lifetime. To be self-empowered, well, this is a completely different orientation than being empowered through Christ. The vows are different. Best to review those tapes pretty soon. We love the vows. They're beautiful. We tell you of the first four. That of the fat farmer. That of the supreme hedonist. We always miss the third no more. We don't know what's going on there. The fourth is the queen. These are easier vows to swallow than those of chastity and poverty and simplicity and silence, yes. That third. It's there as a thought, but the words are not available. Yes, isn't that cute? A combined effort to get her to look at the tapes again. That first tape is laden with anomaly. It is the energy running is well, it's anomalous, we'd say. It's worth taking a look at. The affect is Well, it's not the same as this. But even that is sainted, yes? Yes. Yes, it is. All right. We've bent your ear long enough. Let's see what it says. 5:36. Oh, we are indulgent, perhaps? Or perhaps you are very, very pleased indeed that you had this long talk with people that you seem to remember somehow. Somehow. And these ideas don't so much get your hackles up as get your hopes up. And weirdly, you just know from having listened. In this case, it's appropriate. In this case, it is appropriate, we say. It is appropriate to get your hopes up for yourself, for your life, for your expression, for your understanding, for your clarity, for your peace of mind, for your sense of joy, your ability to reach out in love, to give to others, to give to others. All right, bye-bye.